Tuscaloosa. For this particular meetup, we've actually opened up the meetup.com to be meeting at The Edge, which is an entrepreneurial and incubator in town. Their availability is a little different from our Wednesday schedule, so we hope to be meeting on Thursdays and a little alliteration, Tech Talk Thursday. We hope that's going to work well for us. Of course, game night on the 13th, the Tech Talk Thursday on the 19th, and the 26th. Of course, you are welcome to check us out at sparktuscaloosa.com, and we have our calendar of events right here in case you need to keep up with what's going on with us. We're on Meetup, we put the events out there. We're on Twitter and Facebook. So without any further ado, I'd like to go ahead and start with the presentation. I've invited Eric to join me. Eric had reached out. He says, hey, I'm interested in trying to put together a shop for WordPress. I'm interested in selling some items. Can you help me? So we met, and we're actually using this as a mock presentation for what a conversation might look like to, if I was a consultant, Eric is a client, to go through the steps of getting a store set up online. So Eric, would you mind telling us a little bit about what you are wanting to sell online, and
sure,
go from there?
Sure, absolutely. As I mentioned in our first meeting, I make woggles. People don't know much about woggles, but I'm sure it's going to be a huge success. I can make them out of leather, plastic. I can do the plastic in multicolors. I can mass produce them, and I can do some custom stuff, special order business. And woggles are specially designed to hold neckerchiefs in place.
Okay, so I've seen different things from Boy Scouting. Is that what I'm thinking of?
They do it too, but my plan is to leave that realm, and I think I'm going to be positioned ahead of the neckerchief woggle wave that's coming. Also, I want to spark it.
Okay. You don't happen to have one of those here, do you?
No, I was hoping you got my pictures.
I do have some photos. So here are a couple of those. Let me make this view a little bigger. Large icons. There we go. So so can you tell me, like, what's the material here?
Well, that one is a special rawhide leather strand that it's 100% American. I have a source out west. And there's a technique for using, you can make them with your hand, but I can mass produce them.
Okay.
I built a machine.
Oh yeah. Awesome. So here's a second one. Looks like you've got a coin here.
Yeah, that gives you an idea of the scale. I can make them very small, or I can enlarge it. It depends on what the customer's needs are.
Okay. And I had a third image you had sent me.
Well, that's I have a secondary product that I'm going to deploy. If you want a woggle, you need a neckerchief.
Okay.
And so I like animal motifs. That's kind of my favorite. That's the one I sent you, was the eagle. But I do bears and bison and fish and all that kind of stuff. Anything the customer wants, I probably can get it embroidered on the neckerchief.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to do is walk through a little bit of how I would set this up. I'm going to be using a local development environment all on my machine, but it's running a vanilla version of WordPress, and we'll go ahead and get that launched up here. So, a pretty basic site, nothing going on here. Right. But what I want to do is go ahead and install for you one of the e-commerce tools that I've seen. It's called WooCommerce.
Right. I've read some about that.
So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my store. I'm just going to search for it by name. And here it is. WooCommerce was recently acquired by Automatic, so it's actually got a lot of support. There's maybe over 500 or 600 people working at Automatic. It's got a lot of, and the 60-person team at Woo was acquired within about a year ago. So, right. Plus, I heard a stat recently that WordPress is powering 30% of the web. So you can't. It's hard to go wrong with this. We use it at where I work, and we use it mostly for content management. But it's going to be pretty. I think this is going to be powerful for what we know. So I'm ready to hit activate. It's got some questions for me right off the bat.
All right.
So where's your store based?
It'll be here in the United States.
All right, that one's easy. How about Alabama?
Yeah, even
That'll work.
more.
I hear you're at 123 Main Street, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll put you right here in Tuscaloosa. 35401 sounds good to me. U.S. dollars?
Yes.
And how about physical and/or digital goods?
It'll be strictly physical.
Okay. Anything in person or all online?
Oh, this will all be on.
Okay. And I'm okay with WooCommerce seeing some debug data and some like usage
Oh yeah,
data.
absolutely.
So it's gone ahead and set up some things behind the scenes. Also, it's talking about payment methods. So Stripe is a good one. It's good for developers. PayPal. Many people are used to that. Do you have a preference?
Well, I don't know much about Stripe. I have a PayPal business account already established.
Okay.
But I'd be willing to add. Can I do both, or are they exclusive
You know,
of each other?
I think it's easier to give people a singular option, but otherwise there's a little confusion.
What would Stripe give me that PayPal, whom most people know more about?
You know, the rate in which the transaction fee, that's something that I'm not very familiar with, but you know, some of these are going to charge a transaction fee around 3% plus a 30-cent per transaction.
Right.
So $10, you might take 3% on that. What's that? 30 cents? Am I doing the math right? Anyways, plus 30 cents. So it might be a 60-cent transaction. And I don't know the varying schedules on what their prices are, but they're pretty competitive based on volume. If you end up putting all your volume in one or the other, you often will see a volume discount. But let's go ahead and turn off the Stripe and we'll just focus on the PayPal.
Yeah, and I can do some research and we can always swap it out if it's not.
Would you want people to pay you by check?
No.
No. Okay, so we're going to leave all that offline stuff off. But it supports that in case you wanted it. So so then we have some shipping details here. Live rates from the Postal Service, I think, flat rate, free shipping. Did you want to charge shipping?
I think initially I'm going to offer free shipping until we really catch on fire, and then maybe I can play with.
Okay. And then for people that are maybe outside of the zone, maybe we want to charge whatever like the international rate is.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay. And how about this? How would you like to measure the weight of your items?
I think ounces is safest. They're small.
Okay.
Relatively small.
And then dimension, we have a couple different
inches.
Inches. Cool. This is really cool. It sort of guided me through the whole thing. Automated taxes. We got some automated taxes offered here.
Right.
Calculate and charge the correct tax for each item. If toggled on, Woo and Jetpack will be installed and activated for you. I think this is a good deal. It means it's less like you have to calculate on your own.
Oh no, I want this all to work in the middle of the night when I'm
Sure.
right
on your boat.
On your boat, exactly.
like where your mind's at.
So it's asking you, or it's asking the local website to connect to Jetpack. And Jetpack is also an automatic product, but it helps you with a handful of things. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with Jetpack. And I think it's going to ask me to in a moment to connect, but that's okay. We'll finish setting up the store. Yep, that's fine. We can use my address for this one. And sure. Continue on the website. I hope I come back. Maybe I've got a tab here. Looks like I signed up for a mailing list I didn't mean to. No worries. I'll get off of that.
Right.
So it looks like the first thing they want me to do is start creating a product.
Yeah,
let's do that.
Let's get it deployed.
So you gave me those three images: the
Right.
single, the multiples, and the
Right.
handkerchief. Which one do you want to work with?
Let's do the single first.
Okay. And is that just a woggle?
Well, it's let's I can come back with some details on that, but it will start with woggle.
Okay. And then looks like it's asking us to go ahead and say, yeah, this is a simple product. It's not virtual or downloadable. That's good. How about a price? It's got regular or sale price.
Yeah, that's going to be priced at $10
Okay.
a woggle.
And would it be? Is there a sales price for this?
Can I craft it so that I give a break if they order more than one?
Ah, that's a good one. So that's like a volume discount. let's look here. We talked
make
about
a-
schedule. Note that schedule has to do
With a
with
sales day.
a sales date.
Let's put it on our work list. And
Yeah.
come
Let's,
back.
would you make a note of that?
Yeah,
We'll come
sure.
back to that. That's a good one. So not a sales price for now. It's taxable. It's so let's move on to inventory.
All right.
You probably don't have a
I
SKU,
don't have SKU numbers.
but Woo has the ability to manage stock for you.
Right.
Do you have any of those on hand?
I've been making them for 3 years for this event, so I have lots.
Okay. So how many is lots?
I have 100.
Okay. Would you like to allow people to order past the 100 mark?
Sure.
And they would be told, hey, this is a back order item,
Right.
but they have to wait.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Allow, but we'll notify the customer. How about that?
Yes, right,
Okay.
right.
Sure. And then, is it okay that people buy more than one? I think
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah,
Okay. So how about shipping? What's the ounces
2
here?
ounces.
2 ounces. And dimensions.
1 by 1 by 1.
That's
They're
pretty uniform.
Yeah.
So then linked products, this would be like, hey, if you bought this, you might prefer this, or you might also prefer that.
Definitely want them to see the neckerchief collection.
All right, so what we'll do is we'll come back and link this after we put the
Okay.
neckerchief in.
All right, great.
Custom attributes, are there any options available? Like the material or color?
Colors, right.
Okay. So let's go
See, now
ahead.
that one's made with a premium grade leather. There is a version I'm less proud of, but it comes with it's in a cheaper leather.
All right.
Should we do that separately?
I think that would be a different price. What do you think?
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
that's a good.
Yeah,
that's
maybe
good.
we would add that, but are they all going to be the same color because the leather?
Yes, the leather ones
Yeah.
will all be the same.
So maybe this one doesn't have a particular attribute. So how about we close that out? And then advanced, in the event you wanted to send a note to the customer once the order was done. I'm not sure I'm not sure how to use that yet, but that's there if we wanted it.
It would be like something where we said thank you for your order and
Sure.
come back soon, maybe.
I think that's more like the text you would see on a receipt. Maybe this would be like wear and care details. It would be specific, don't get wet or keep it in a dry place or something like that. Let's also add a category here. Let's go ahead and put this in the category of woggle, if I can spell right. And I think we're good to publish this.
Oh,
Did I miss something?
you pressed the wrong one.
Did I press, what did I do wrong?
Click on.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we're going to remove it from the uncategorized and update. So let's take a look at the homepage, see if there's anything there, anything changed, nothing found. We still have some things to do.
Good.
That's good. So let's go ahead and add the other products. So you told me that there was I need to do one more thing. I need to add the photo of the one we just did. So we're going to edit this one. And we will use
To your right.
the product image right here. So what I have the ability to do is come over here and just drag and drop this in. And there's that, set product image. And now if I was to update the product page and view it, this is the product page for that. We've got 100 in stock. People can order more than the amount that's on there. So it looks like we've,
That's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
that's pretty cool. You can actually even make it larger if you need. So, all right. So let's add the next product. So I'm going to work on the one that's got the multiples here.
Sure.
Okay. We have a name for that.
The mini woggle.
Great. And let's walk through this price.
Those will be a quarter. They're only. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go with $5.
Okay.
$5. They're as big as a quarter.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. How about inventory? Any on hand?
Yes, I have 100.
Okay. And you okay with allowing back orders on this?
Sure.
Okay. And they can buy more than one, right?
Absolutely.
Great. The weight? The first one was 2 ounces.
Yeah, I'll go with 1 ounce then.
Sure.
All right. And same dimensions.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm shipping them in the same package.
That's right. Link products. So you could upsell
Sure.
or you could cross sell. So we can go ahead and put in one of each. Great. Attributes are their colors. I think I saw that in the image there.
Yeah, the primary colors.
So what colors are we working with here?
Blue.
Hold on 1 second. Separating by pipe. What else we got?
All right, green, yellow, red. I think I've got black and white.
All right. What?
Sorry.
There was nothing on advanced, so we did was saving the attributes here. And let's go ahead and put the image in. You can actually, so if the image happened to be the same, I can reuse it. But in this case, I believe it's going to be these. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. And we're going to set the product image there. So there's that. We got all the colors? Enough of them?
Yeah.
Good enough. I remember you had sent me some text. So which one of these do we want to use for the mini woggles? The top ones? The top two?
Well, I gotta spell woggle the right way, but
I get that.
right. That detail goes with the really nice one.
Okay.
The second one goes with
These?
yeah.
Okay, great. So we'll put that right here in the short description. We'll hit publish, and I'll go back and add that description for them. All right, and also now that we're on this one, I want to check on the linked products. It's possible people might want to buy the mini as a cross sale or as an upsell, and I'll show you how that looks in just a second. So let's go take a look at the woggle itself. This is the one we just looked at before. We've got the description, and then you got your dimensions and weight. You might also like, so
Oh, yeah.
you've seen stuff like that before. So so this is pretty cool. Let's see if I clicked into this. What do we have? Okay, the menu woggle, its description, $5, and you might also like. So there's cross promotion for both of these. Colors, you can see the options here, so works out pretty well. Let's go ahead and do that third item.
No. Neckerchief. Okay.
Not a handkerchief.
Right.
No.
A little bit different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
You know what? I'm on the post page. Let's go to product. They look very similar when you start.
So are we gambling with the copy and paste again?
Yeah, it's okay. It was just a link to a Hangout, whatever that is. So how much for that?
Those
Eagle one?
are $15.
Okay. Let's go ahead and grab that image in. Set as product image. There we go. Inventory.
I have 5 of each one.
Okay. And would we allow back orders?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can get them made.
They can buy more than one.
Yes.
Okay. Shipping. So talking about like what if you were to fold it up? And
Yeah,
whatnot?
those are going to be about 5 ounces.
Okay.
Right.
And once it's folded,
I'd say I can put them in a tube that's probably 5 inches long, fold it up nice, 2 inches wide, and 2 inches in height.
great. And then on link products, I think this is definitely an opportunity for cross-selling on both of the items.
Absolutely.
Attributes on this particular one, we're just calling it the neckerchief, but maybe this one's the eagle. Is there other ones we'd want to, maybe we call it style? And do you have any others?
Oh yes, we'll go with the 3 principal animals that I have: the bear, the mountain lion.
How's that?
Right.
Great.
And sounds good.
All right. And we're going to add the category. I missed that on the new one, on the minis, but neckerchief. Add. publish, and what I'll do is come back to product page, and I want to edit this one. So actually there's a cool thing here, it's called quick edit if you like, and you can quickly make a change without having to actually get out of the page you're on. So in case you're having to make a bunch of changes like that, it makes it pretty convenient. So let's go look at the neckerchief page. So view right here. So there's that. You can make it. You can zoom in, see it larger.
That's
You
cool.
can click. You can zoom around, stuff like that. And looks like I need to add that description. So right here I've got an edit button. There's that. So update and go right back to the view. So pretty. You know what? I put that in the description field, which is a little different from this one. So it's set up out of the box to be able to put two different sets of text. I had originally been using the product short description, which shows at the top of the product page. But this is more like maybe you want to just tell a story about how people use this product. So that'll actually show up down at the bottom.
Okay.
So again, we'll go back and view this product. There's that description. It's going to be right there at the top, and 5 ounces. And again, did I set up the cross promotion? Because I'm not seeing it.
I thought you did.
Oh, you did.
I thought
Yeah,
I
you
did
did.
too. I might not have hit save. So we'll take a look. It's really easy to get back and take a look. They're both here under cross sales.
Well, maybe
that's after you've already purchased it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Put it in the upsell and see if it comes.
Yeah, I can put it in both. It won't hurt. Wiggle.
Log it with me.
I don't know what you just said, but I'm laughing in my head. So yeah, there it is. You may also like. So that sounds like an upsell. I don't know. So built in, if I wanted to add this to the cart, it's going to go ahead and show me that here's a cart right here, $15 for that one item. When I mouse over it, I see what's in it. Maybe I do want to go ahead and do that cross sale, upsell, and I want to get one of these as well. So it's pretty easy just to go ahead and start putting these in that cart. I can go and view that cart and see, yep, that's what I expected to see. So. There's a lot of stuff that's already built in case you said, hey, use the coupon code and get $2 off or something like that. So one thing that I know that's not working yet is our homepage. Nothing found. So we need to make some changes to figure out what's going on there. So let's go to the dashboard and look at our list of pages. Here we go. So we have a cart, a checkout, my account, and shop. But it doesn't look like I have like a home page. And this, I don't know what's the right way to get there. That's something I'm gonna need to put on my list of, I just expect there to be some like welcome page and some short code form to be able to get this in there, but I'm not quite sure what's missing. I'll have to look into that. So it looks like I've got the ability to connect to Jetpack, but because this is a local install, Jetpack and this install won't communicate that. So we'll skip that. There's some settings here for the store. That looks like a page that looks interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe product catalog. What's going on here? So I see show products. So I'm interested in having that type of page. I see a link for shop. That's cool. Let me come back to the site and take a look at what's going on. Here we go. There's a link for shop. Well, maybe I want to get rid of the home page and I'm just wanting the shop to be the first thing they see.
Okay.
So I'm going to customize the menu. So here's menus, and I currently have a menu, but it's the default, just whatever pages it had. I'm going to create a new one. I'm just going to call it menu 1, nothing fancy there. And then it'll be the primary menu on the site. So what do we want on there? Well, I'm interested in the WooCommerce shop to be on there. I'm scrolling down to it. Sorry. How about products? How about pages? I don't see it.
You can scroll down on pages. There were multiple.
There it is.
All right.
I don't know where it was.
All right.
Maybe it's under page. And then we had some other things maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know what they were. Anyone else remember?
My account, card.
My account. Thank you. Cart. There we go. So let's go to the home page. Now, by default, it's set to go to the home page unless I tell WordPress to change the home page to something else. So yeah, that looks like the home link, and it's going to show me the shop, but I still have a little bit of tweaking.
Right.
It's probably not in the menu. It probably has to do with something, and I know where to find it in a different place. So, dashboard, settings, reading, your static page, home page, shop. And now when you go to the home page, you should see the shop. So
Okay.
I feel like we've got this going pretty well.
Well, I'm excited.
Any questions? No. So one of the things that I've shown you is sort of in about 30 minutes how we were able to take just 3 items and some details you've sent me and put them into a store. But currently, the internet cannot see this.
Right.
So some things that we're going to need to do. We're going to need to come up with a website, like a domain name. Woggles R Us. You probably don't want that one. Somebody will sue you for the RS part.
Woggletopia.
Woggletopia, great. And then you're going to want to look for a web host. There's a number of web hosts. If you go to get.wordpress.com, you're able to see, yes, get WP. You can create a WordPress.com site, and Woo can run on WordPress.com, or you can self-host your own. And Bluehost and Pressable are 2 that are currently featured. But you know, do you want the total simplicity where they're handling the hosting and all the account maintenance, or do you want to get your hands dirty and your host and with your host and y'all decide it? So there's some options, but this is where I would point people to go ahead and make that decision of how to go forward.
Right. My expertise is in Woggles, not
That's right.
e-commerce shops.
Sure.
So
So you're looking
simplicity's
for essentially you're looking for a managed host, somebody who would take care of it for you. Yeah.
Sounds good.
So that ends the mock presentation. I welcome any questions from the audience, if anybody has it. Josh?
So, what were you were using Vagrant?
Yeah.
That's your local
Good question.
environment?
So I was using varying vagrants. For short, people simply call it VVV. There is VARY, varying vagrant. Vagrants. I'm not kidding.
Good job on spelling that.
I'm glad you got through that. I would have had to copy and paste that.
I needed a
So-
cheat sheet.
Vagrant is a provisioning tool that's used with VirtualBox. So I'm using what is it? VirtualBox. Yep. So I'm using VirtualBox as a emulator, as a virtualizer. There we go. And inside of VirtualBox, I'm running an instance of Linux. So this Vagrant machine is running. Although it says it's powered off, that is a
Lie.
It is a little bit of a lie. Let me launch this in super admin privileges, and of course now it's running. But so this virtual machine is running inside of my laptop. If I wanted to, I could open a connection to it. VVV, and yes I do. and I'm logging in at the moment into the virtual machine. And yep, there I am. So if I run uptime or anything like that, this system has been running for 31 minutes, basically the amount of time I've been doing this presentation. But it's inside the laptop. It's virtualized. So Vagrant is a provisioner inside of, humor me for a second. So what I'm going to launch is the install. So varying vagrants will give you a repository you can download, and it will let you can clone it, you can tweak it to make your own however you wish. I'm opening the project for my Vagrant local, but it has a Vagrant file, and it has a number of steps that says, hey, provision the operating system to be Ubuntu, and do all these things. Well, then after all of that has run, then other things run on top of it, which is the VVB part of it. It says, hey, install WordPress, and for my particular use case, I actually contribute to the WordPress core project. So in addition to WordPress local, which is the one I'm running on here, I also have wordcamp.dev, if it'll load, .test, cross fingers. Bad idea. Come on, you.
Trying to use the S.
Anyways, it should be WordCampCentral.test. While that's loading, I'll show you the Vagrant file. So, Wes, are you familiar if this is a particular language, or if it's...
It looks Vagrant-y.
Yeah. But there's just a handful of settings in here that I don't really touch. You might come in here and change them from time to time. But what's cool is if I wanted to, I could. There we go.
Yeah.
So this is WordCamp Central running on my machine. If I wanted to, I could go into its WP admin, which is the backend for this multi-site, and I think it's admin.
Real secure.
Admin password. Well, it's a local site, so they really don't. They want to make sure the password is something you actually remember. And then if you look inside this multi-site, there's a handful of dev sites that I'm able to use and test with if I wanted to.
And are all those running on that same virtual box?
They're all running on the same virtual box. Yeah, including the store.
Same VDB
yeah.
instance,
Yep.
everything. So you set that environment up once, and then you can run multiple. Do you have to run a multi-site and run them all under that? Or
No.
I guess not.
So I have the default WordPress right there. I have a WordPress I can use to develop WordPress itself, and then I have the WordPress meta environment, which has all of these WordPress specific ones built into it. So there's the WordCamp one, and it is a multi-site which has all of the stuff in it that we were just seeing. Cool. So yeah, it makes it really easy to jump around between different WordPress projects. For work, I have a handful of folders. This one Eric and I work on, and
That one's...
yeah.
Oh,
So and really, like, all I need to do is get into the Randall Raleigh theme that's down here. Everything else is just a lot of it. It's a lot of code that's sort of like just a framework to get to the point where you need to start working the project.
Well, and for some, kind of folks that maybe aren't as into the dev side, what most folks do is they don't even use VVB or anything else. They just cowboy code like straight on the WordPress itself, right?
Yeah.
Right. So they could run something like MAMP, XAMPP, WAMP. There's a number of asterisk AMPs where you could configure your own laptop itself to run, like, install PHP, install Apache, install a MySQL database, and anything else. No.
Memcache.
Right, you can install all the other things, but what I find is that's a lot to turn on and off and remember. When I'm ready to shut it all down, this is VVB that I ran. When I was ready to start it up, I ran Vagrant up. When I'm ready to shut it all down, Vagrant halt, it's going to say shut down Apache, or actually it's running Nginx, which is an alternative, shut down the database, shut down the operating system, and turn off all of the port forwarding. It's automatic for me, and as soon as that's done, none of the websites I was just looking at would function, but also I've released all my CPU resources back to the CPU.
It also integrates well with PHP Storm.
And I know there's a lot.
GUI options, start and stop the vagrant box. That's pretty nice.
Yep. So, any other questions?
Yeah, I got one.
Sure.
So I probably fall under the cowboy code that I got,
Yeah, it doesn't even know where this site is anymore.
so how do you take the work that you've done here on your dev box
That's right.
in WordPress and get it over to a live site?
So one of the things that we just did with Eric, I did not do any coding, right? So everything was in their user interface. So I'm going to launch this back, Vagrant up, but I'll tell you what's going on. What you would want to do in the scenario where I want to help get these products moved into the production site where Eric wants to run it is export the products into a file and pick it up and move it to this laptop. And then when the new website is set up, there was actually an option that says import products. And you would hit that button and you wouldn't have to go through that step again.
Okay.
And you'd still want to set up the menu like I did because that's hard to export.
Okay. That's specific to WooCommerce?
That's specific to this particular experiment where we just did. Now, to your question about how do you get the code from here to the production environment,
So many ways.
there are a lot of ways. So I'm going to let this finish, but what I will show you is I have, as part of this project that we work on for the office, we're using Git, G-I-T. Git and SVN and Mercurial and Team Foundation Server.
Sorry, I just...
Got excited.
These are all version control systems. The idea is, we use Git at the office all the time. Multiple people can be working on the same code base at the same time. If you want, you can make your own branch, your own copy of the code, and work on it separately. But also if you want, two people could work on the same branch and they could keep making contributions.
Right.
But essentially you would use Git. Notice right here it says that it says master.
Okay.
For the VVV project, there's a repository that I downloaded.
Okay.
And I'm on the master branch for it. If I was to change into one of the projects for work, it also has a master branch. Notice it says master here.
Right.
If I was to say git branch minus v, I'm going to see,
You can just do git branch and it does it.
sorry. It looks like there's only one branch that I have visible to me.
Okay.
Fun.
What? Keep going down.
Oh, right. I need to go further into the project.
Yeah.
My bad. I did not change into the other repository yet. Public underscore HTML, WP content, that's the root of the repository. If I do git branch, I'm still seeing the same, but what is interesting, if I type in git remote a minus v, I would see that I've changed to a different repository.
Okay.
We end up, once I've drilled far enough into the repository, I'm able to see a different set of a different Git working space.
Okay.
If I wanted to, I could say Git branch Spark. I could say Git branch, and I would see two branches. Git checkout Spark. I've changed branches, although there's something about a composer lock file it's complaining about. I'm not quite sure. But what's important is I did change branches.
Okay. So
And then if I made changes here, and then I pushed it back to the repository, it would show up in a Spark branch where we could consider, hey, you could download that and take a look and see, yeah, I can see what Ryan was doing. But we're all contributing our code to a central repository. We're making commits, a couple times a day, at least. That's actually many times a day, a lot of times. But
whenever somebody's comfortable with hey, all the bugs are worked out of everything we worked on, then just from the live server, you do a git branch or you commit the work there?
No, there's a lot of ways to deploy code. Recently, we've been using some tools from some deployment tools. One of them is called Pipelines. It's from Atlassian's Bitbucket.
Okay.
When we commit to the master branch, which is like your main branch, your ready to go code, deployable code, it will automatically run a sequence of instructions and move the code to your production server. So I don't mind showing you that, but it's really cool. I'm gonna swap personas here for a second.
But if you're kind of typically like more cowboy coding, like you might could just FTP in and just drop the files there directly,
Okay.
right? And that is that kind of how you're doing it currently?
Yeah.
I mean, version control and a
For
central
sure.
repository is kind of the best practice, but if you're less technical, you know, some these Git commands and seeing the terminal window and all that can be a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, I
sometimes.
mean, even just editing locally and checking it there and then copying up is better than editing it.
It's like
all
everything
outside.
works good on BBB on your local machine.
Yeah.
Copy the files, FTP into the server, copy paste.
And
So
if you're
every-
generally the only one working on it too, like you
Right.
don't have any
Yeah.
problems.
But when we have multiple people working on something, it becomes easier for us to use an automatic deployment.
Sure.
So these 11 lines, some of them are comments, but these lines will automatically deploy when the master branch has a commit. And what I can show you is that we have a history of commits, of deployments, and it's pretty cool. Like I see it, 2 days ago, 6 days ago, a handful from last month, and I can click in and see exactly what happened, and I can see all the files that were actually moved to the server just because, and you don't, it saves us a step.
Sure.
I can do it all from the command line.
And even working by yourself, it's great to have a history of what you
Like
changed
screw
or something. Yeah, it's super handy. I used to hate doing it. I love it now.
Yeah.
Love it.
You're like, I did do that. I did do that. It worked on my laptop, but
The other thing great with using a deployment process, also if you're having to compile any code, you can also have that done during deployment, so you don't even have to take the extra step to compile SAS or anything else, or ES6 or whatever else you're dealing with.
But I'll reiterate something that Wes was saying. If you're coding by yourself, it's not a requirement. But have you said in the past, I wish I had a version of my code as of 2 months ago, because I started going in a direction that was weird.
You've got it.
You have it if you were using some version control software,
Okay.
and you were you were committing it somewhere. If it's all on your laptop, that's a place for it. But can you get to it? If your laptop was to die, would you have it again? So we're often pushing the files up to something. GitHub, Bitbucket, Beanstalk. These are all different ones that are all Git. But we're putting them somewhere, and we're letting those people rely on or take care of the backups.
That's cool.
today I was like, yeah, I should probably just go ahead and put this in Bitbucket in case my computer blows up.
It's handy.
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, well, thank you all. I want to remind you that next meeting will be after spring break on Friday, game night. Again, it's going to be on the Spark Tuscaloosa website, but it'll be hosted here. Is that right?
It's going to be either at me or Josh's house.
Okay, so,
Is
I
it
thought
here?
it was here in March and then in April.
yep, so the
my
calendar
memory
is correct.
forgives me, sorry.
And we will be here. So thank you again to everybody for allowing us to be here. And good luck to Inside Owl and in your ventures as you move forward. Thanks again for everybody. Anybody else?
No, I was just gonna say it's the last workshop here. It's been a good run, y'all. Thanks for all the support from the Spark Tuscaloosa community, some new members. We appreciate the energy. The Edge is going to be a great space. They're really excited about getting some new energy over there. So, it's going to be a little bit different. We're not going to have the parking lot out back and everything else, but we're going to bring good energy there, and we hope to see the membership join us as we make that transition over to the Edge with our workshops. So, keep an eye on the calendar and just Great workshop, Brian.
Thanks.
No worries. Thank you.
I'd like a Waldo, please.
$10.
Oh.